Hi, friends. Welcome to the first episode of Someday is Here. I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud. Today, we're going to talk about the hardest part of starting over. Starting something new at this stage of my life feels both terrifying and exciting. And honestly, this podcast is something I've said someday about for years. But I finally realized that someday isn't a magical moment in the future. It's right now. It's today. It's messy and imperfect and real, just like all of us. I wanted to create a space where we can talk about the parts of life we don't always say out loud. The parts that are real and heavy and beautiful and complicated. The parts that make us who we are. And today, for this very first episode, I want to talk about something I know many of us face at different point in our lives: starting over. What starting over really feels like. The truth is, I've been in a season of starting over. More than once, honestly. But the most recent one was this past year. Packing up our lives in Ohio, leaving everything familiar behind, and moving across the country to California. I didn't expect it to hit me the way it did. I didn't expect to grieve the way I grieved. I didn't expect to walk into grocery stores and feel like a stranger. I didn't expect to feel like a beginner again in my 40s. Starting over at this age hits differently. You feel every step. You question yourself in ways you haven't in years. And you wonder, what if I made the wrong choice? What if I don't belong here? What if I never find my people again? Nobody really prepares you for how lonely it can feel to rebuild your life. And honestly, some of the nights were really heavy. Some of the mornings were really quiet. And some days I found myself crying in the car. Not because something was wrong, but because everything was unfamiliar. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. Sometimes the bravest things you can do is to choose yourself and your family, even when it means starting over. One of the weirdest parts of starting over is realizing you can hold grief and gratitude at the same time. I love so much about this new chapter, and I'm also grieving the one I left behind. For me, the grief comes in waves, especially around my family. Having all my kids back under my roof recently, that moment hit me so hard. I didn't realize how tight my chest had been until they walked through the door. I didn't realize how much I missed the noise, the chaos, the comfort of everyone being home. And then having my mom and my oldest visit, it reminded me just how deeply I miss home. Not the physical house, but the people, the history, the feeling of I belong here. And at the same time, I'm grateful. Grateful for the sunshine, the new opportunities, the growth, the healing, the space to breathe differently. Gratitude and grief can sit right next to each other, and that's okay. Your heart is big enough for both. This year has taught me a lot. Some lessons were gentle, and some punched me in the gut. But here are a few I keep coming back to. Lesson 1. Starting over is not a failure. It's actually a sign you're brave enough to listen to your life, even when the steps aren't clear. Lesson number 2. You don't have to have it all figured out. Clarity doesn't come from standing still. It comes from moving, even if it's slow and messy and uncomfortable. Lesson number 3, you find your people slowly. Real relationships grow in the ordinary moments, not all at once, and that's okay. Lesson number 4, you can't outrun yourself. Whatever chapter you didn't finish will follow you until you do the work. Starting over doesn't erase your story. It just gives you a new setting to finish the hard parts. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, you are allowed to choose a life that feels good to you, even if people don't understand it. So, why start this podcast now, in the middle of the messy, uncomfortable season? Because I finally realized that waiting for the perfect moment was stealing the real one. I don't want to talk at people in 30-second TikToks anymore. I want conversations, depth, connection, room to breathe, room to be honest without rushing. And because so many of us, quietly, privately, are starting over in some parts of our lives, in our relationships, in our parenting, in our careers, in our marriages, in our identities, I want a space for us to talk about it, to feel less alone in it. I truly believe that someday isn't a dream you chase. It's a reality you choose, a moment you step into, even when your voice shakes. Someday is here, right now, and this podcast is a part of that for me. Thank you for being here in this first episode. Thank you for being a part of this beginning. It means more to me than you know. I hope something in this episode made you feel seen or understood or just a little less alone. If this spoke to you, I would love it if you shared it with someone who might need it too. And if you're in your own season of starting over, I am sending you so much love. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are just becoming. I'm Michelle, and this is Someday is Here. I'll see you in the next episode.